This is ShakeTube 2017. For those of you who are not familiar with it, it is a read-along of Shakespeare plays over a period of 15 weeks. It's hosted by Lukash's Books and Curtis Books and Films. And these are the plays and in the order in which we are reading them. So this week we have just read Hamlet, so we're on week 10. And then at the end of the week, on the Friday, we all kind of post our videos of what we thought of that particular play. So Hamlet is probably one of his most well-known plays. It's just a fantastic play. It has quite a large body count for one that doesn't have a war taking place in the middle of it. But by the time you reach the end of the play, I say most of the main characters appear dead. One of those deaths actually appears at the very opening before, it's like some 2 months prior to the opening of the play. The King of Denmark has died, and his son, Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, is grieving the loss of his father. He seems to be the only one in the country who's grieving the loss, because most of them are celebrating his mother's recent marriage to his father's brother, his uncle, Claudius. And Claudius has now become the new king of Denmark, and, you know, there's this massive celebration. So Hamlet is, you know, in the deepest of depression, and he's also angered by this sort of incestuous relationship his mother has now entered into with his own uncle. And he just can't understand how her affections can turn so swiftly, you know, 2 months after his own father's death. He is in such despair that he almost seems to be contemplating suicide in some of the passages that you read. This one little passage here, it says, "Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his canon against self-slaughter." Canon being his law. So, like, the law of God is against a suicide. And then also in the famous To Be or Not to Be, where he mentions that he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin, a dagger. But the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will. It makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus conscious doth make cowards of us all. So he's just really in deep despair. And then just to add to his woe, his father's ghost appears to him and tells him he didn't just die, but his own brother murdered him. And Hamlet vows swift vengeance. But then he does anything but go after his uncle immediately. He kind of waffles on, and he's debating, you know, did what he see really, you know, happen? Did he really see his father's ghost? Or was it a demon in disguise trying to get him to commit murder? So he's kind of waffling back and forth and indecisive, and then, like, this opportunity kind of falls in his lap where a group of actors come to put on a play for the newly crowned king, and he devises a little play to put within their play, within this play. So it's a play within a play within a play. But the play that Hamlet wants them to insert in their own play is a reenactment of how his father was murdered by his brother. And he wants to see the reaction on his uncle's face. And if he betrays that guilt, he will know for sure that his uncle's a murderer, and he will seek vengeance. I just thought that was super clever. That, you know, the one line, "The play is a thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king," and it definitely reveals his guilt. And then again, he he hesitates. He still hesitates after the king's reaction to the play and seeing, you know, what he did to his brother. He goes off and he's praying, like, for forgiveness. That's when Hamlet comes upon him, and he realizes he can't kill him now. He's confessing his sins. He will be free of sin, and he will go up to heaven, where yet his father is doomed to walk the earth because he was, you know, killed before he had a chance to free his soul of his sins. And it was really interesting how his father kind of describes, his father's spirit describes what his life is like now, what he's going through. You know, "I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could tell a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, and make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres. thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand on end, like quills upon the fretful porcupine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. This is just creepy, saying, you know, it's not for your ears, you are living, but this is what I have to go through, this horror, and Hamlet doesn't want to, you know, let his uncle be absolved of sin and then go up to heaven, you know, when he kills him. So there's another delay, but it all kind of culminates towards the very end. There's some lighthearted moments within this play, which I appreciated too, because you kind of needed that a little bit. There's a character named Polonius. He is the father of Ophelia, and Hamlet has expressed his affection for Ophelia in the past, and she deeply loves him. He's also the father of Laertes. He's a young gentleman who is of Hamlet's age. He wants to return back to France, there's, like, Polonius has quite a few great lines within it too, but he's a waffler. When he gets talking, he doesn't stop. And he has the famous lines, neither a borrower nor a lender be. He's you know, kind of giving his son guidance in life and the rights and wrongs and things to do, but he does kind of go on in that point. And then he's also very important to the king as a counselor. He also is keeping a watchful eye on Hamlet and Hamlet's strange behavior, because he starts acting very odd, saying weird things in his behavior towards Ophelia, whom he once loved, and they're uncertain as to his sanity. And you are too, as you're watching the play or as you're reading the play. Is Hamlet, you know, losing his mind, or is he putting on an act to kind of throw everybody off? But they use Polonius to kind of watch Hamlet and see what's going on, and he kind of reports back to the king. There's this one part where he's telling him what he sees, and he says, therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tedious the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. He goes on, mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is but to be nothing else but mad, but let that go. And then the queen interrupts, it's like, more matter, less art, meaning just get on with it. And then finally she just, you know, asks him more questions, and he's like, good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful. Like, I'll get there. Hang on, you know, just sit back and watch. But it was kind of humorous the way you see, like, them rolling their eyes, like, oh my god, here he goes again. But he does play a very pivotal role, and his sort of sticking his nose into it will end up getting him killed, because when Hamlet goes up to speak to his mother and you know, discuss this whole marriage and how could you, you know, turned on, you know, my late father, he hears a rustling in the background, and he thinks this is his opportunity. He thinks the king is spying, and he runs his sword through, and Polonius is dead. A sad ending. That sort of further brings about like the downfall of Ophelia. She is starting to lose it too. She doesn't know what's going on. What is it with Hamlet? Why is he treating her this way? And she slowly starts to unravel, and at the death of her father, that pretty much turns the page, and the end of Ophelia too. And then Laertes hears of all this going on and has returned seeking his vengeance on Hamlet from France. Now this is where the former, or the current king, Claudius, sees as an opportunity to use him to dispatch Hamlet, because he fears for his own life as well. In Hamlet's madness, who knows what he might do. He has obviously found out what he has done to Hamlet's father, so he devises this plan, and the whole thing kind of unravels at the end, and, you know, read the play, find out what happens. But it's just so enormously quotable, and there's things that, you know, lines from this play that I could have highlighted the whole entire book, but there is so much in our vernacular that we hear these things in it, you know, over and over, like something's rotten in the state of Denmark. The time is out of joint, O cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Like I said, there were so many good ones. The play's the thing, where I'll catch the conscience of the king. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy, who finds the skull. It's just a fantastic play. I just love kind of delving into it. It'd be great to see it, you know, performed live, but I have seen Laurence Olivier's portrayal of it, and that was fantastic as well. So, yeah, Hamlet. Definitely a play worth delving into. It just flew by. I loved every minute of it. Gave that one 5 stars. What else could you give it? Yeah, the next one is going to be Othello. Well, I've got it way over there, so I can't show you. But I don't know anything about Othello, quite honest. I've never read the play, never seen it. So it'll be completely new to me, so I'm looking forward to that. So hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on Hamlet. If you've read it, and what did you think about it? Any interesting points you got from it? Let me know down below. Love chatting about it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Someone's spying on me.